Hi, welcome to my channel. Today we're doing a side-by-side comparison of an iconic product that is the Chantecaille Future Skin Gel Foundation. We are going to get into everything from coverage to ingredients to wear to how it sits on the skin, the finish, everything. We are going to see if the new version stacks up to the original and if it is worth purchasing the new formula if you already own the old. We're going to put on the old formula in Alabaster on this side, and we're going to put on the new formula in Shell on this side. I do not have a mixing palette, so I'm just going to go in with the end of a brush and dip in and put on one half. I want to try to get equal amounts because I think that's important. And then I'm going to dot it on this side of my face. I'm going to wipe the excess off because I feel like that one dip is too much. I don't like to use a lot of foundation. There's one dip and I'm going to try to eyeball it and get them super even. It's not scientific or anything. I just want to try to do as fair a comparison as possible, in coverage levels and things like that. I have two different beauty blenders here so as not to cross-contaminate. First, I'm going to go in on the Alabaster side with the pink beauty blender and blend this out real quick. Now I'm going to go in with my black beauty blender and blend out the shell shade. So this is the difference in coverage. I've got a mirror here in front of me and I can see, and I hope that you can, that the new formulation gives slightly more coverage. So this is Alabaster. It's incredibly sheer. Like I would rank this a step above Glossier. I'm saying that because I have a skin tint video where I go from coverage level. I plan on doing one with foundations. This would be probably one of the lighter coverage foundations that I own. This would be sheer. I would rank this sheer. And I would rank this sheer to light. Slightly more coverage here, less coverage here. I'm seeing some other things, but let me put the rest of my makeup on and then we'll discuss it. This is Alabaster. This is Shell. Alabaster and Shell. Alabaster is slightly lighter in tone, but more pinky peach. Alabaster is just more pink. Shell is more yellow, which works better for me. I'm not pink. And if I have any pink, I'm trying to correct it. I'm trying to correct any redness in my skin. So here they are swatched. Alabaster is on top, Shell is on the bottom. So if you are like me and Alabaster was too pink for you, Shell could be a good match. I wish it were a little bit lighter. Now, keep in mind, this is my hand that is more discolored. For some reason, it shows up way darker on camera. I think it's because I'm a lefty and I'm always using this one. That's all I can figure. And my skin is very translucent. Like the skin on my hands, I'm older, I'm 51. The skin on my hands is very thin, very translucent. You can see through my skin to, my circulatory system. Not to be gross, my hands look more pigmented than the rest of my body just because age, honestly. This shade in Shell, I wish it were slightly less pigmented. Just slightly. Wish it were slightly more like neutral yellow than golden yellow. Gold has a little bit of orange and I just prefer yellow, like straight yellow, almost green. In the winter, I will probably mix the two just because I feel like Shell in the winter is going to be too deep. I would say this is like an NC 20 and in the winter, I'm like an NC 15. This is slightly deeper, but this differs a great deal in undertone. We're going to finish up the rest of my makeup, make it really speedy, but show you what I'm using so that if you're curious, it will be there, but you won't be stuck watching something that you're not interested in. Let's discuss this reformulation. To me, this is a pretty significant difference in the original formula. I will pop up the comparisons of the ingredients. The main thing that stood out to me when looking at the ingredients is the removal of talc from the original formula. I think that everybody is headed towards talc-free. I have no issue with that. Let's get into the differences that I notice just right off the bat. For starters, the packaging. The packaging is a vast improvement over the original. This is plastic. The lid is plastic. It feels very lightweight. This was $90. This is a pretty recent purchase for me. So this is the most up-to-date packaging. It is, like I said, plastic. The lid feels even very lightweight and plasticky, not a luxurious feeling package whatsoever. The new one is in glass. And not only is it in glass and it feels so much heavier, so much more worth the price. Now it's $95. The lid also has a little C on it. See, this is the original. The new lid has a C. The original didn't have anything, and it feels heavier. So the lid, when you take it off and put it back on, I don't know how to describe it. It feels much better. It feels like a luxury item, like it's actually sealing shut. You can probably hear that in my mic. This lid just feels like metal. The other one feels like plastic. Yeah. Just night and day difference in the experience of opening and using the product. So I was very happy to see that improvement. As far as the formula goes, I've owned this several times through the years. This is, obviously new, but I have been wearing it since I received it. I've been wearing this every day for about a week now. I have worn it on its own. I have worn it side by side like I have today, so that I can compare the two. There is a difference in the formula in where in application, it feels like a different foundation. It still feels nice, like your skin always has. Like this has always been kind of an iconic foundation. This is probably the first foundation, like actual foundation, not skin tint, that I purchased that was completely undetectable, invisible on the skin. That is the shade Alabaster. The thing about Future Skin that is confusing to me, when I did my Chantecaille video and I mentioned the coverage, a lot of people with deeper shades said that Chantecaille is like a medium coverage foundation on them. It is not a medium coverage foundation on me, not in Alabaster. It is a very gentle step above Glossier skin tint. And I have tried so many foundations. Like, I don't think it's me. I think that different shades in the original had different coverage levels. Mandy Davis, MUA, on YouTube, who I absolutely respect and believe and trust, uses hers as a concealer. And I was always blown away by that. I'm like, how? How is she using this as a concealer? It is so incredibly sheer. It would never work as a concealer for me. It's barely a foundation. What it does do is smooths the skin, wears really well from morning to night. There's no breakdown in the coverage level, I think, because it's so sheer on me. I will say, when you first put it on, it looks like it's not doing anything. After it sets, it gives you kind of a perfected look. It gets better as it sits on your skin in the initial, 20 or so minutes that you apply it. So I've always really liked the original Future Skin. It's just that it didn't give me much in the way of coverage, and the shade was never quite right. It's like, as you can see, it's not like a mismatch. It's not something that you could look at and see like that doesn't match because it's so sheer. It's not a bad shade on me. In the winter, you can tell that it's not a perfect shade. In the summer, when I have more color to my skin and, I've got all of this going on, totally fine. The undertones of the new formula are much better for me. The coverage on the new formula is better. I would call the original formula a sheer coverage. I would call this sheer to light, maybe light. This does have more coverage. This is also, in my opinion, more perfecting on the skin, more blurring on your pores. Pores are kind of hard to show on camera at the distance that I am. I do feel like the newer formula is slightly more smoothing on the skin, slightly more perfecting overall in terms of coverage, in terms of smoothness. And I've always felt that this was a very smoothing formula. Like, this doesn't enhance any texture or pores. In fact, I've always felt like it smoothed over them and made your skin look much more perfected. This just kicks that up a notch. It's just that much better. This wasn't bad. This is just better. The wear time on the Chantecaille Future Skin, the old formula, has always been excellent. I think in part due to the fact that it doesn't have a lot of coverage, so there's not much to wear away. You know, at least for me, in the shade Alabaster. This also wears incredibly well. I did a wear test. Like, I've worn them side by side from morning to evening to see if there was any difference. And there is a difference. I look at them up close in my 10 times magnification mirror immediately upon application, several times throughout the day, and at the end of the day, right before I'm about to wash my makeup off. Very surprisingly for me, I feel like the new formula wears better. It breaks down less. Now, this wore incredibly well. Again, I'm not saying that this was bad, that this wasn't great. This is just that much better. So by the end of the day, I do notice just a little bit of the breaking up, the dryness, you know, on my chin and my pores, just the slightest bit. It shifts from invisible on the skin to visible by the end of the day. This does that to a much lesser degree. Now, I could see this just ever so slightly, like I said, 10 times magnification. I can see this ever so slightly on the skin, but it wears, in my opinion, so much better than this one. I'm super surprised because this is already a fantastic formula. And this just, in my opinion, improves upon that formula in every way. I've tried so many shades in Future Skin, and this one is the best match for me, especially right now in the summer. You have to bear in mind that I'm very neutral warm. I am like a desaturated warm. I don't have a lot of peach in my skin. I don't have a lot of gold. I don't have a lot of pink. I'm very difficult to shade match. I tend to look for a very desaturated yellow. That's the closest that I can come to, like not a golden yellow, but like a true desaturated yellow with maybe even a hint of gray in it. I know it sounds like a horrible shade, but like that's the shade that I am. I'm very happy with the shade expansion. I have felt for years and years that Chantecaille needed to expand their shade range. So they now have 21 shades. It does look like they have added several more undertones. I'm very happy with the reformulation. It would probably be more helpful if I purchased Alabaster and wore that, but I had to try out the new shade. I had to try out the new shade and see if it was better for me. And I do feel like it is a better shade match for me. In natural light, like in my car, it's slightly too deep still, but I know that as we go into true summer, I will get some color, even though I wear sunscreen. Final thoughts, I absolutely love the new version. Like, to me, it is an improvement in every single way. And I know that there are going to be a lot of people that are heartbroken that they have reformulated an iconic product that has been around for years. Like, people love Future Skin. It has a huge following. It's such a beautiful formula. This is, in my opinion, better. It's better for me. It gives you more coverage. It's more smoothing on the skin. It wears better. There's still no scent. They both feel very cooling. You feel like you're putting on skincare rather than a makeup product. I don't think it's a situation where if you have the old version, you need to rush out and get the new. I did, because I wanted to see the new shade. I wanted to see the new formula. To me, it's an improvement in every way. If you're curious if one of the new shades you think is going to work for you, I highly recommend this foundation. I think it's stunning. Like I said, I've been wearing it exclusively since I got it so that I could give you my full thoughts about it and not just a first impression. Let me just mention that I don't have any powder on here. I powdered between my brows and I powdered under my eyes because I put concealer there, but I have no powder anywhere else on my face. And my pores on this side look so smooth. My skin looks so smooth. This side, pores are slightly more visible. My texture is slightly more pronounced, like ever so slightly. Like I said, I'm looking at it in 10 times magnification. No settling, no nothing. It's sitting absolutely beautifully on the skin. And like I said, in my opinion, it wears better too. Like, 5 stars across the board, absolutely gorgeous foundation. I highly recommend it. I think it looks stunning on mature skin. I love it. I love it. And I'm so glad that they reformulated it. And it's a reformulation where, in my opinion, it's an improvement. A lot of times things are reformulated and they're worse. I don't think that that's the case with this. I don't think that even if you love the original formula, that you're going to be disappointed in this. I think it's improved. The new one almost feels thinner, more watery. I was not expecting that because the newer version has more coverage. It just feels the slightest bit more watery. Not a huge difference, just, you know, I'm trying to look at everything so that you have all of the information. There's no winner in texture. I just feel like the new formula feels thinner. This is a formula that has alcohol. So it was 18th on the list, now it's 25th. My counting could be slightly off, but it is further down the ingredients list. The new version does have a longer ingredients list. I think that they've included more skincare in this one. This one did have skincare in it. I think they've added more skincare benefits to the newer version. It does have more ingredients and it does boast more skincare claims on the box than the original. On my skin, at least, it just looks better. My skin looks smoother. It's got a slight bit more coverage. It's slightly more perfecting. It's just an all-around improvement. I hope that that helps. As somebody who has loved this formula for years, who has owned it several different times over the years, it's a staple. It's an iconic foundation. But I think that they took something fantastic and made it just that much better. Thanks so much for watching. I will see you soon in another video. Until then, please take care of yourselves. Bye-bye.